Hey, very good morning and good evening, everyone. Welcome back. So last session, we were discussing about some of the Linux basics, by the way. So the basics, Linux basics, what we have what we were discussing was we talked about an editor, VI editor, and in VI editor, how to open a file with VI editor, and how do you do the modifications, and how do you save it, and also how do you not save that. So those are the two options we talked about in the VI editor, and and in the filter commands, by the way. So the content of the file, you can filter by using a cat command to show all the content, head command to show you the top lines of the file, and tail command to show you the last lines of the file. And whereas the grep command is going to help you in finding out such a certain word and just get only those particular lines. And whereas the AWK will go for column-based filtering. Okay, so these are the things. And the curl command. So the curl command is a command line browser, which is very important one in our day-to-day activities as well. So the curl command, and with the curl command, we have seen how do you browse, which will show the content, as well as you can also use the same thing. And we had talked about an options, which is a hyphen small o and hyphen capital O to download the files, by the way, right? And sometimes the downloaded files is going to be a tar file or a zip file. So then how do you extract them? Tar means tar hyphen xf, and it's a zip file means it's a unzip command. Until here we had discussed in the last session. And also concept wise, we talked about a pipe symbol. So you can combine multiple commands. So by using command one, okay, so pipe command two, that means the first command output going to the second command is what is happening. Also here we talked about a scenario of going with xargs. Xargs is in a case that if the command two is not actually able to, so take the input from command one through pipe, so you can take the help of xargs. And how to do that, we have seen it in yesterday's session. Until here, we have discussed yesterday. And after that, so we moved on to the cloud, by the way. And here, this is the login page. Let's open that. And you log in with your your email and password, and you will be going here. And you need to switch to some other place. Yeah. So this is the page that you're going to have it. And inside this, you're going to have a service called as EC2. So you have EC2 service. So which is to create a servers and all. Okay. So this is the dashboard. And on the left side, you can go to the instances. So this is the place where you can create your own instances. So you can go and create your own machines and practice your administrative topics. All right. So to start with, we are going to just launch an instance. And yesterday we talked about the procedure as well. We had a procedure here, how to create a EC2 server. So here's a procedure. So first click on launch instance after going here. All right, I'm already there. Launch instance. And after that, so you search for DevOps-practice. Okay. Enter. So you'll be finding it out a community MIs. Click on that. And we decided to go with Red Hat 9 yesterday, right? So RHEL 9 you can choose. So there's an RHEL 9 image. Choose that. Okay. And also I was telling yesterday, in the starting when I take the screenshots, this did not there. Okay. So over here, so one small option. So here T2 micro is coming. Please change that to T3 micro. Both are same. So T2, T3 is a generation, by the way. So the hardware generation. Okay. So this is what it is. You can just choose that. All right. And also you can just choose this one. All right. So, okay. And after that, you can directly here itself, you can choose a key pair, proceed without a key pair kind of a thing. You can just choose this and maybe launch instance directly. That is also fine. Or else you click on launch instance, it asks for a key pair. You can choose not needed. Okay. All right. This is the one. Just go here. So choose this and choose the T3 micro. Right. So and then you will just proceed with the launch instance. It will ask for maybe proceed without a key pair and then launch instance. And the username is EC2-user and the password is DevOps321. All right. And in the Putty, by the way, I couldn't able to bring the Windows environment, but I can just so give you a brief this. So if you are for Windows desktop, or let me try, I think. Just give me a minute. Let me bring the Windows environment. Yeah, let me just give it a try so that I can show it. I'm not sure how can I share. If not, I'm not able to share the screen. At least I'll pull the screenshots. I'm almost there, trying to join the Zoom from there. Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm able to share my screen, which is Windows. In Windows, how do how do I log in? How do I log into that window? Sorry, server is, there's a software called as Putty. There's a software called as Putty, which you can download that particular software. So I'm trying to download that particular software. So here is the one. Let me try to change my. I really don't know what's going on. But Putty website is down or I can't download it. Let me see if I have already downloaded. So because the download is quite simple. Where is this? Something PC. Yeah, I have a Putty software here. I'm just having it already. I'll just open this. Okay, cool. And over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter the server IP address. So maybe I'm just entering the server IP address, but by seeing it, I don't have Amazon web page open here. That's okay. So first one is what I'm going to do is 54 okay, dot 226 dot 178 dot 200. So that's a server IP address. Okay, so we need to enter here. So it's a public IP address. Okay. So we are able to do that. And after that, next click on open. So then this is the prompt, by the way, you're going to get it. You're going to get this one. And on this particular one, so you have to choose like accept. So I have to choose accept for this. Okay, I'm clicking on accept. And then it asks for the username password. So the username and password which I already given. So which is EC2 hyphen user, enter. So we need to enter the username. I'm just taking the screenshots also in parallel. Okay. And the password is DevOps321, capital D, EVOPS 321. Okay. So you should be seeing the uh, login screen. All right. So now over here, one more thing. All right. That's fine. So this much is okay. All right. So I captured the screenshots. I think you can manage it with that. Let me come back to my machine. Okay. Actually, earlier I used to install I used to have a virtual machine of Windows on this one only directly, which is my Mac OS, but my Mac has been changed from Intel to M hardware. Okay, so that's where I'm facing challenge on running this. Okay, so that's where the problem. Cool. So now here, all right. So capital D, capital O. So that's what we need to do. And yeah. So now for Windows desktop, so you just need to enter the IP address of the public IP address of that particular server. What is public IP? What is private IP? You will get one introduction in next week, and some more, so detailed explanation in somewhere in the design aspect of the project, by the way. Okay, later as well. So two more steps are there, but for now, just take the public IP address and just try to give that particular one into here. And after that, it will be prompted with accepting yes or no. Accept it and enter the easy to user. Okay, and enter the password. While you're entering the password won't be displayed. Okay, so password won't be displayed. You just put like enter password DevOps 321. Okay, enter. So this way you'll be able to log in to that particular machine. You'll see the prompt. Okay. And if you're a Mac OS guy like me, by the way, so you will also use a command line like this. And here SSH EC2 hyphen user at the rate. Okay. And then you can use the IP address. Okay. Enter. So maybe it is won't ask me the password. So I'll be entering it. So let me, yeah. So mine case is a bit different. So that's okay. So this is how it is going to be. And you will be seeing the prompt like this generally. If you're a macOS guy, you need to, let me simulate that Y2. Just 1 second. And 1 minute. Yeah. So if you're a macOS guy, so then SSH EC2 hyphen user at the rate is IP. So here is the IP and paste. So SSH is not there here. 1 minute. I'm sorry, I would have initially prepared this. Just 1 second, it's coming almost there. Yeah. So now SSH EC2 hyphen user at the rate the IP address. SSH is also not still coming. Okay. I can do this. Yeah, also it's not there. All right. Maybe I can use the killer coda thing. Killer coda is also the same like macOS Pro only. So that's where I'll simply use this. So now here SSH EC2 hyphen user at the rate this one. Earlier we used to use a different username, but from 9 actually they changed it. So I'm also relying to that only. So EC2 hyphen user, that's okay. And enter. Now they will ask you yes or no. You have to type yes. Okay. So there it is. And it will ask for the password. So DevOps 321. And you'll be logging into the user. So this is the whole full screenshot, by the way. And out of this, so here is a username, here is the IP address. Okay. And here you will be asked for to enter yes. And here you need to enter the password. Okay. So here, enter password, DevOps 321, and enter. Password won't be visible. Typing. Okay, since it is a password. All right. And you need to choose yes here or type yes here. If you're a macOS guy, so you simply follow this particular process on your terminal. There is an inbuilt terminal. You will be finding it out, by the way, and you will be doing this. All right, that's it. All right. So this is how we are going to make a connection to Amazon Web Services. Okay, we created a server and we're connecting to that particular server, and we can go ahead and so start executing the commands, and we start actually using the Linux box. So because so far we are actually using only the our killer code and learning some basic commands. Now our machines are ready, so those basic commands also you can directly practice in our direct um, Linux box now. Okay, so this is how it is, and generally, like people will be. So generally, so people will be whoever has aware of Amazon Web Services. They know that they may be using some key pair and all those particular things. So that is a modification has been done, by the way. So that is not the straightforward approach. In the organizations, when you actually go into the enterprise organizations, okay, so what you will be doing is, I join an organization, okay, they will provide me a login details, a email, a username, and password. Okay, so when I join the organization, what I get it is, they will create a username for me in the company, right? An email will come and password, like, by the way. Now, all the applications, generally in the big organizations, what will happen is, so now you have n number of applications. Maybe you have an attendance sheet, like where you fill your time sheet. Maybe you have a medical insurance kind of a thing. Okay. Maybe you have a company portal about knowledge center. Okay. Generally some knowledge things. Okay. Whatever it is, blah, blah. Okay. Maybe you want to refer your friend for interviews, some portal. Okay. Along with that, you also will have something called as servers. Okay. Now, to all these particular applications, the same username password will work. There won't be a separate username and password, including your desktops also sometimes. Okay. So the same username and password will be working everywhere. Okay. Every application. There may be a leave application, like I mentioned. There can be an insurance thing. Okay. It's all web applications, right? So maybe you have some, so KT knowledge center portal, whatever it is. Okay. So maybe you're having any, let's say cloud login, something like that. So these are all is integrated, and this concept is called as single sign-on. Okay. Single sign-on. All right. Single sign-on. Now, whatever the things you have learned so far, okay, and that particular one, okay, why it became that, I mean, with the keeper is, only this particular part only. Okay, so that's where, now if you're just dealing with this particular part, you can deal with any method, okay, any login method. And that means you log in, let's say to your mobile, maybe by entering a pin, by entering a pin you can enter, by entering a pattern you can enter, maybe by entering a fingerprint you can enter, by seeing the face scan you can enter. Mobile, there are many authentication methods, right? Servers also has many authentication methods. Out of that, the fundamental one, okay. So, and the widely used one is username and password. Okay. Now, do your laptop, are you connecting with the username and password, or are you using some key? It's going to be username and password. Now, why not the same thing to the server ideally, right? And it is username and password. Now, what they have done is, for comfortable purpose, so they have converted that into a keys, and so teaching you the keys. Okay. So that is where keys is not the real use case in the organizations, because keys has a lot of security loopholes. Like, you enter into one server and ultimately you're able to, okay, I mean, someone try to enter into one server. If the keys are mismatched or wrongly configured, someone can get, I mean, there's a huge security risk, and there are many incidents about the keys, by the way, and they can easily log into another machines also. Okay. So that is where the keys is not widely used. We also use keys, but that's fine. Okay. But I'm giving you the clear context. To enter to the server, it is going to be your username and password, which is provided by the company to that server also. Okay. So that's where we track everything on the server. We track each and everything on the server, right? And while we track it, by the way, so that means you authorize into that particular machine with the proper username and password. And these servers are actually integrated. These servers are integrated with in the behind the scene. Those are integrated with this authentication mechanism. Now, while you are entering the username and password, they go back and check whether your username and password is right or not, and then only they will allow you to get into the server. So the key pair thing is a fancy thing. Okay, is only for a lab purpose. Generally, okay, is not a preferred one, and will not actually go with that particular approach. We are actually talking about an enterprise scale. Okay, in enterprise scale, it's going to be a username and password. Okay, so that's how this is username and password, and this is how you log into the server, and we can just get onto the Linux administrative topics. But yeah, any questions before to that? Yeah.
Yeah, hi, Raghu. Good morning.
Yeah.
So one thing is that I missed actually that point while we use the image actually. So it is the customized image or the like AWS provided image we use for EC2 is not this one.
This is also something in Amazon only, right? That
Okay,
means
because
AWS
you
provided.
mentioned that DevOps 321 is the password. So it is
Correct.
directly provided by the Amazon.
Not directly, I mean, since it is in the Amazon only, that means Amazon provided only.
Okay.
But it is not like that, right? So it's basically every image is customized image for for any customer, by the way. It's not like you have to use by Amazon. So that's a customized image which is out there. Now, in the place of, yeah, you rightly asked, I missed to mention my point, by the way. One more point I wanted to mention here was, now just imagine, okay, imagine, okay, EC2-user is your username. Okay, my username. Just imagine, because I can't simulate all those particular things, right, in the lab. So just imagine in the place of EC2 user, you enter your username. That's it. The company is providing one username. You enter that username. And instead of the password, okay, DevOps 321, you enter your password. Just imagine that you are entering that only. Okay, so here it is a generic one that you enter same, I enter same. But in the organization, you enter a username and password. That username and password is yours, by the way.
Yeah, that is true. My concern is how this DevOps 321 password is set. Like it is by you or the Amazon or
It
the.
is fundamental. I mean, are you aware of Amazon? Like, I want to gain some context, by the way. Are you aware of Amazon and asking this? That means you're
Because
aware of early one.
sorry,
That means earlier, have you used Amazon and asking it, or this is the first time you're doing this?
no, I already use actually.
That's the problem, because you are using the customized one. The key pair is the customized one. Now you go back and try to install any Linux machine on your Windows desktop or somewhere. Try to download the CentOS ISO or Red Hat ISO and try to install on your machine, and you will be logging with the username and password only. The key pair is the customized one. Username password is not the customized one. The key pair is the customized one. So the OS will not come with a key pair. That is a second level configuration. So that's where these guys actually have been teaching you the second level configuration, not the first level. Username password is the first level. The fundamental foundation is username and password. I have not customized much. Those guys are customizing the keys and giving you. That is the customized one.
Okay, because while we create the EC2 instance directly at this point, like
Again, I'm telling you, they mask many things, by the way. They're not showing you opening and showing you the reality. What I'm showing you right now. You can give it a try. So maybe you can go through one YouTube video also, like how to install CentOS on Windows desktop, right? CentOS on Windows VM into your desktop. You go through that video. Fundamentally, you will see that it is a username and password only. That means OS comes with a username and password. Your desktop comes with a username and password, right? It's an operating system. Your desktop.
yeah,
Right?
correct.
So then you would have asked this question to that fellow, whoever has told you that, hey boss, So my machine is, this operating system is working with username and password. How that machine is working with key? What is this key? Okay, how is it different with password? That question you would have got that time, not this time.
Mhm. No,
Yeah.
the again, sorry for this one again. Uh, because why I till time I used to create the EC2 instance directly and I created the one key pair. Okay, after that one I am creating the one username once I log in by that key pair. Okay, and then I am using that one, or else by default I am using EC2 user only. Okay, so here you have
We
selected.
listen, I think Mahendra, like you're still stuck there only. I mean,
Yes, yes.
stuck to that customization. When we actually upload any image, either me or Amazon, when we upload one image to, uh, I mean Amazon, by the way, it is a customized image. Okay.
Yeah.
So whereas I am not customizing that key pair, I'm keeping the plain one, username and password. But those guys are actually what doing is they're taking the core OS and modifying that SSH configuration, and they are keeping some sort of key pair and giving you. And your starting point is that.
Okay, yeah, correct, correct.
Okay, they are doing extra customization where I'm not doing that. So because in the enterprise organizations, we don't use key pair. So
Correct.
where
Got it.
of key pair. Okay, we don't use key pair at all.
Okay.
There are a lot of security concerns that would arise if we are using key pairs.
Yeah, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I completely agree on that one. The keeper is not using any organization like. Uh,
If you are using, there has to be some cross measures also we have to take it. I'm not saying that's a bad method again all the time, right? So we have to understand where are we using, what is the criteria, all those particular steps. You have to think about it. Otherwise, you think about any enterprise organization, it's a username and password. That username and password is a single sign-on username and password.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One more thing, can you just go to the EC2 console, that one, and try to create that image? I just wanted to see that image, which image you are using it for.
I provided already the screenshots. You can go through that. So
Yeah.
how to create a server is already mentioned here. So it's
Just,
already.
just, just image where it is. Yeah. So this is the okay, community AMI. Okay, okay, that's fine. You are using the community AMI. That was my question actually. So this is having all the by default username and password. Okay. So how that password is setting, that is what I wanted to know.
You will let, I mean, you will know by the way later.
Yeah, yeah. Now it's fine. You are using this community AMI and not the AWS
Just an
person.
AMI boss. It's just only tagged by the way. Your name is Mahendra, my name is Raghu. You're being tagged. Both are human beings.
Mhm.
It's as simple as there's no difference there. You're overkilling your thoughts. It's very simple image, by the way.
Yeah, yeah, got it. Now I got it by this picture actually.
Right. Not able to hear you, Mahesh.
Uh,
Yeah.
able to hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. As we are creating a DevOps practice image, we are using the default user ID and password.
In company, you'll have company image. That's it. There's no too much things here. In company, you'll have your own company image.
No, like my question is like if we are creating a another image like a RHEL instance, EC2 instance. So how would I get my username and password?
It is same only. Username and password. If you use this one, what I'm giving, it is same only.
Okay, this one is fine. If
And this much is fine also for me for now.
okay.
We'll talk about AMI setup, by the way, in somewhere in the sessions. Maybe at that time, if you still have a question, please raise that time. I'll definitely explain that. But at this point of time, you create a server and login is pretty much fine for me. Yeah.
Okay.
Hi Raghu, Prakash here.
Yeah.
So sorry, I am also having the same question which two guys have already asked. Like how this username and password is getting set up, like if we are going to create another AMI, will that having the same
While
password?
that's what these all questions will go away if you step down, by the way. You're already sitting on 10th floor and viewing the sky, by the way, not looking at the ground all the time. Right? Now come to ground floor. Okay. Now open YouTube and start looking in how to install an operating system like CentOS in a virtual machine. Then you start seeing the reality, by the way. Okay. So step by step, what is the installation procedure? At an installation procedure, they'll ask you to set a username and password. I mean, maybe Windows also, right? So Windows also, when you install Windows, at certain point of time, they'll ask you, hey, set up your name and password. And you have a name and password, you log in the same one. So the same thing I'm doing it. Okay.
Okay, I got it. Like for this machine, it is fine. If I'm going to create another machine,
Everywhere it is same only. That's what you
Okay.
come from ground floor. Don't directly tend onto the 10th floor and imagine. So then you'll start seeing the reality. If you want to see the reality, yes, now it's time for you, by the way. Right?
Right. Okay. Okay, I got it. It's just a basic thing like simple username and password should be there. Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
I have Windows, so once I finish downloading Putty, then from the Putty terminal, I'm going to start the work as you show ahead, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Thank you.
Right. I'm coming back again. This username and password. Is this username and password is provided by this AWS website? Is there any can we customizable while creating this image? Is there any?
Is all customizable, by the way.
Okay, because this DevOps 321 means like the is password is and so is there any username and password wherever we want we can give by our choice so
You can. You can. It's a simple operating system. You can always customize everything, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So in your Windows, can't you change your username and password? Can't you create another user in Windows?
yeah, we can.
Yeah, so this is also another operating system. So that's where I'm calling from first session, right? Linux is just another operating system. It's not something super thing there. It's just another operating system. Whatever you think logically possible in Windows, Linux will definitely allow that as
well. Okay. So my question is while creating image, can we customize
Don't bother.
that?
Why you are worrying about creating image in day one, by the way?
Okay.
We're learning ABCD, you're asking me grammar. Fine. You want it, one day we'll talk about it. Okay.
Yeah,
At this
sure.
point of time, you have any question on understanding okay, in Linux, okay, I mean, you have any fundamental question on username and password thing, by the way? I don't think so, anyone, because in Windows, at least you may be using it. The Linux also, to enter into the server, you're entering username and password. So here I'm telling easy to user. Imagine that is your user only in the organization. You are entering Ramesh as a username, right? Your password, you'll enter the password. That's it. What is the big deal?
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Look, I think so. We are getting confused because of this. Sorry for that one again. The community AMI, AWS Marketplace AMI. Till date, I have used only the AWS provided AMI. This is also one AMI provided by AWS, but it is the community AMI which is built by someone else, and it is set already password and all those things, and that we are using it. Because till date I have used only that AMI which is provided by Amazon and setting up that EC2 key pair, actually EC2 user key pair, and then
I'm
using
also from there only, boss. That's what, like, I'm not sure you're there in the previous sessions. So here we are actually following a roadmap called as roadmap.sh DevOps. Okay. I will also, you would have used Amazon Linux just like you, basically. Okay. So here there is something called as an operating system. So these guys telling me use any Red Hat derivatives, right? RHEL. Okay. And I also on the previous session, I opened ChatGPT and asked, hey, what is the widely used operating system?
Yep.
The answer you get is Red Hat, by the way. Okay. And ultimately I had to teach you Red Hat. Right? Not the Amazon things and all. Okay. So those are happy path for your lab and all. Okay. But
Yeah,
enterprise
got
is not gonna work, by the way. So you asked me to teach you a real-time training. I'm trying to tell you that.
yeah,
Okay.
correct.
So that is the difference will come into picture. But end of that, it's just an operating system. Like in your mobile, you're entering a PIN number, okay, or else you are entering a fingerprint. These are different authentication methods. And also, my wonder is, by the way, like, so when you try to do an SSH here, like let's say, generally, like when you do SSH, you stuck it to that password versus this only. And do you know that there are multiple protocols also which is involved there? Now, how many methods your system will try? Okay, so now you can see this. My system is actually trying it out, or basically, I mean, my authentication method is you stuck it public key only. But there's a GSS API, KeyX is there, GSS API with MIC is there, and password is there. These 5 authentication methods actually comes by default. No one talks about this. Okay. So there are even in some of the scenarios. So that's where don't stuck with what you see, by the way. That's what my point is. And start realizing, okay, are you doing the things right or not? Start
Correct.
gaining gauge on the knowledge, by the way. That is fine. So whereas out of all these, one password is the foundation one will come. The rest everything should be extra configurations. You have to do in any operating system. Now you open YouTube and start watching one video. Maybe if you have still any question, please fall back into the lab query session. I can help you with that. Okay.
Yeah.
But first of all, you need to watch how to install a OS on a base machine, bare machine, no automation, no fancy thing. Then you start realizing the reality. Then you do that and we'll talk about it. Maybe if you need.
Yeah, yeah. True.
All right.
Oh, hello, Raghu.
Yeah.
Real time also will create instance same like this or
It's Amazon console, right? So real time will not change anything. So that's what you have to understand. Things will not change in the real time. Approaches, process may be changing, but ideally technical things are same only. No changes.
okay. No, in real time they will ask like creating key pair like this if anything is there.
That's what options are same. Process may change. That's what I'm telling. And I already claimed a statement saying that in the organization, so key pair is not the right use case. Okay. Will not use
Okay.
it much, by the way. That's what I'm including Amazon. I use Amazon. I work in, almost like 11, 12 years I'm working in Amazon. I never worked any organization, enterprise organization, working with a key pair, but so far. Okay. It's not, okay, like mature who comes from a proper operations background will not, and you can't cross this with this. You can't actually, get this approved with your security team on security practices, by the way. So when you actually present your approach to the security teams that, hey, we're trying to do this and all, so the key pair will always comes with a red flag, by the way. So we don't do that. So we are conscious and we know that, and we don't do that. So key pair. But end of the day, it doesn't really matter. It's just a method. Technically, doesn't really matter. Process is difference. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, Mahendra, do you have any question?
No, no.
Please do it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Oh, too much time on server creation only. All right. Next is, let's get on to the killer coda and start with the killer coda things. So the first one is a process management. Okay. So just categorizing, just a topic wise, just a category, by the way. And there are, your operating system is going to run some process. In Windows also, you will have the same thing. Okay. In Windows also, what will happen? You will be having a task manager, something like that. You can just go onto the task manager and okay. So, and you will see the list of process, whatever it is running there. Okay. you will see the list of process which is running out there. And those particular process list, okay, maybe Windows is going to just track with the name of the process, but Linux, what it will do is it will create some process ID, which is a number. It creates one number and it is going to use that particular number. Okay, so that means so here, where is this? Yeah. So in Red Hat family OS or almost any operating system of Linux behaves the same way. So every command you execute, so that means I'm executing the ls command. This creates one process in the system. Maybe that process is completing very immediately, by the way. That is okay. But it is going to create one process and process that and completing that particular process. And this process will create some PID, by the way. Okay, in the operating system, we are going to create one PID. So maybe here, take it. Let me open another session to the same server. Okay. Yeah, so I opened those session. So out of this, if I just do ls command, so this is what I'm telling is this is going to create some process in the background. Okay, but you can't catch ls command because it is completing super fast, right? Now I need some command which is going to, so wait for some time. But even before to that, if you want to check out all those particular processes running in your system, so the simple command is ps. The command which we have to find out the process is ps. And but this command will show only the process related to that session. But what we already talked about, Linux is a multi-user, multi-session operating system. So that means I have another session, by the way. Okay, that information is not being shown here by default by ps command. Now, if I want that information, so ps-u. Now ps-u is showing me all the process which is belong to me, by the way. All the process belong to me. Okay, Windows also more or less doing the same thing. If you have ever observed or not, I'm not sure, but Windows also more or less does the same thing. So let me show you here. So here, if I right click, you will go to a task manager. Okay, so here is a one. So now here they're categorizing as your apps, by the way, whatever you're running, they're telling the apps and some of the background process which is running. Okay, and even going further, they are categorizing this into, I think, something system process, something. They will try to categorize. Yeah, Windows process. These Windows process you can't touch at all. Okay, these guys are actually categorizing like this. So I mean, so the task which is running right away on your foreground screen, which is tasks, and after the apps, by the way, not tasks, sorry, apps, and background process is the list of process which is running for this user. Okay, to give you the UI maybe or something like that. Okay, but along with that, the Windows operating system process is also there. But these guys are actually dealing with the name of the process. They don't have any ID kind of a thing. Okay, there can be a duplicate names also. Okay, there can be a duplicate names when you actually go for. Okay, so now you can see this runtime broker, runtime broker, runtime broker. The three names are there. All right, so this is how. This is how do we get the this is how do we get the process information in Windows. In Linux, by the way, it's going to be a command line. PS command is showing you all the process. PS showing you your process of this terminal. PS-u shows the process of all your process of that user. But I want everything, by the way. Okay, every process in the system. So then PS-e. Okay, enter. So then what you're getting here is all the process. Okay, and this does not have, and every process have a process ID. And I need a bit more information, by the way. So which user is running this process and information, things like that. You can give F option, PS-e-F. That option is going to help us in listing a little bit more columns. We'll get a little bit more clarity. Now you can see this is the process ID running by root user, which is an administrator process. And there's a process which is running by EC2 user. So like this, you're going to get all the process. Okay, so that's where, so this is how we are going to, this is where we are going to deal with the process management. And out of this, if we want to find out some information about something, so maybe like, so like, let's say any process name or something like that. So for an example, as such as a process, so something I'm getting, you can search it rather than this big list. It's difficult to do that. The pipe symbol. So that's where at least you can start with pipe and searching for that information as well. You can do that. This is how you can do that. Okay. Now this is about listing the process, by the way. But however, sometimes you need to manage the process. A pretty rare case you get it, but you just try to understand if you want to stop any process in Windows. So how do you do that? Right click and process, right? So maybe if I open Chrome, I opened a Chrome. Okay, if I want to forcefully end it, by the way, so now what I'll do is I will just go here and right click and end the task, and the task is gone. So that means that Chrome is closed, right? So this is how you can do that. So now in Windows also, sometimes you need, sorry, in Linux also, sometimes you need to manage this particular process, by the way. And that's where the next commands will come into picture, which is a kill command, by the way. Okay. So now to simulate this particular scenario, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for sleep. Okay. One command I'm going to use is sleep 500. Okay. Sleep is a command that that will not come out until 500 seconds. This is just only for simulation purpose. Okay. So then now I'll go for ps-ef. Okay. 5 grep for sleep. Okay. Now I can see this one. Now, if I want to stop this particular process, so what I'm going to do is simply kill I'm going to do, and I'm going to give this. Now you see this process has been coming as terminated. Now someone has done that. That's it. If some process is running, you want to stop that. Maybe use the server for running your application. Okay. Now you want to stop the application. By the way, somewhere, this is the one. There are better ways to do that. That's okay. But to start with, basic entry point. So how do you manage the process? So this is how you manage the process. So, okay. So this is also going to be helpful in troubleshooting things, by the way. Now, let's say your application is not working. You logged into the server for troubleshooting purpose. The first foundation things that you need to check it out, whether the process is running or not, right? Basically, right. So that's what you need to do, by the way. So that's where the PS command is actually coming into picture. And how do you manage this one? But this process actually is sometimes going to be becoming a little bit crazy also. Okay. So to simulate that, I have one script here. So what I'm going to do is I'll just try to run this. I'll just try to something run like this. Okay. Don't worry about that. I'm just trying to simulate the scenario right now. Now ps-ef, file grep for sleep. You can see this, there is a sleep running. Okay, fine. I'll kill this process. Kill this guy. Now go for ps-ef grep for sleep. Is it there or not? It's still there. 2247. I try to kill, but I'm not getting any message, by the way, right? So it is still running well. Okay. Now there could be any reason the process may not respond to you also. Maybe any reason the process might not respond to you. Okay. And that is where what you need to do is you need to send some enforcing signal. Hey boss, please, I'm sending you force, you come out. So previously you're telling in a polite way, hey boss, can you come out? Then process will listen to you. Okay, literally listening only. Okay, so you're sending a information and that is listening for that information. Okay, you send an information saying that, okay, you want to come out and it is coming out. But now you're saying that, hey boss, you're not listening to me. I'm sending you a forceful thing. Okay, enforcing, right? So that's where I wanted to go with a little bit forceful option. So that's where the kill -9 will come into picture. Okay, so this force option is going to be killing that particular process. So now ps-ef 5 grep for sleep, that's gone. That's not there anymore. Okay, I just simulated the scenario. How do you simulate and all? Maybe you don't bother about that, by the way. But just is all about how do you kill a process? how do you kill a process? If it is not responding to you in normal way, then you need to do enforcing way. But consider this an extreme command only. Don't use it in regular. So if it is exclusively needed only, you do that. Okay, because there could be some loss also. Like let's say you are sending a kill-9 on a database, but the database guy is trying to do something, maybe like you asked him to stop. Yes, he listened to you, but he's trying to do some work, saving your work and all those particular, saving your transactions, all those things he's trying to do, and he's trying to come out only. But in between, you go and kill him. By the way, you may lose some data, right? And that's where just always be cautious what you're doing. So generally send a kill command. Any process will gracefully come out. If gracefully it is not coming out and you know it is stuck with some other reason considering, you can go with the forceful option, that is a kill-9. Okay, and that's about a kill command. Any questions on this?
Hi Raghu, just wanted to know, like, this command will show the whatever is happening in the on this machine from any user, right? We can see all
Any
those
user
things.
can see the information. Now Windows also it's same, right? You open the task manager, you can see even the Windows process, system process also.
Mm-hmm.
So the same philosophy there as well. So user can see all the process inside the system.
No, if I run this command on, like, on this server at my end, can I see what you are running?
So how is it logical? In Windows, you see the process of your system. Can you see
Right.
your friend's process?
No.
So it's same, right?
Okay. Okay, it will show only mine things. Okay, because I thought its username and password is same and everyone is using it.
If username and password, so like that means like my ATM pin is same, your ATM pin is same. That means you can see my balance.
Yeah, I got it. Got it. It's logically not possible. Yeah.
Machines are different. Yeah.
Yeah.
How to find which process we need to kill, like?
That is the requirement, by the way. We're talking about the technical things. That comes from the requirement. If your requirement is something, okay, you're not there at the requirement, but when the requirement comes in on that day, you know there is a requirement and you do. Yeah, that requirement comes again from the project. So when we start the project, it makes sense. Santosh, your voice is muffled, by the way. It's not at all be clear. Still, I think same only.
Hello.
Yeah.
Actually, in the Echo terminal, we have given the command kill 2247, right? And we are
Yeah.
trying to kill that sleep command.
Yeah.
The reason why it was not cleared is that that sleep 350, like 35 seconds is not yet done, and so we are not able to kill that command, kill that
No.
process, right?
No. Prior to that, also the kill 300. Sorry, sleep 300 was there. I was able to kill. Sleep 500 I have given. I was able to kill. It's not about
Okay.
after 500 only you can kill, right? After 500, it's gracefully came out already, right? So why you need to kill? In between, you want to kill. Yeah.
Okay. Like, is there any specific reason for why it's not processed, that command?
Which
Or
one?
it's something, the 350.
Yeah, I
350
simulated
or 500, anything.
I simulated a scenario. Okay, which it can't be killed. It is possible as well in the OS.
Okay. Yeah.
Hi. After using the kill command, can we start the process again? Because I'm new to this topic, so I'm not aware of. So,
Yes, of course.
okay. Okay, thank you.
And also when you raise the hand, you just you
Okay.
you press only one time, by the way. You don't have to press
Okay.
again and again.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Hello.
Yeah.
Am I audible? Okay. I just have a small question. I did created the the Red Hat instance yesterday, with the given instructions, but I did that in T2 micro. Was it still okay? Does
If
that
you're able
still
to
work?
connect, no problem. I think this machine is requiring a little bit more resources. So that's where, see, end of the day, even though it is a T2 micro, for an example, now let's say Amazon has a huge data center that may having thousands of machines out there, physical machines. When you actually try to create a machine T2 micro, maybe you got into a hardware where it is a little bit latest than where I got it yesterday, and maybe you're successful to be able to log in, right?
Okay.
So even though they're
Yeah.
naming it everything as T2, by the way, so they did not buy everything on day one. So they'll always try to increase their hardware. So this T2 was there for almost like 5 years or 6 years, by the way. Okay. So that means during that whole tenure, they were simply building the infra. And that means, okay, so you are lucky, by the way, but just go with T3 micro, both are same machines, but you get from a newer hardware, new generation hardware.
So, so it would be better if I create another instance using the T3 micro, or should I change is it possible to change it in the same instance?
Is possible, but that's okay. Terminate it and create a new one. That's fine, but doesn't really
Okay.
matter. If you are really
Okay.
able to connect, it does not really matter which one it is.
Okay. Okay. Sure. Thank you.
Raghu, sorry again. This ps minus e command, it's written like if you want to show all the process along with the, like, which are related to the system, and the process belong to other users.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? Like, again, I'm getting confused here. Like,
Just listing the process. Windows, you
other
open task
users,
manager, you see all the process, right?
the process is fine. Like, to other users, belong to other users. What does that mean?
I mean, if any other user is also there, that process also you'll see. If some other user, like let's say EC2 user is there, maybe like let's say there is a Procker user, right? Let's say, okay, that user is also running some commands. I can see them what he's running
On this machine only.
Yeah, if he's running on the same machine, yes.
Okay.
All right. So the next one, which is Sudoers, by the way. Now you join an organization, so you might get some extra privileges being an engineer. Generally, you gain some extra privileges. That again depends, by the way, depends upon the roles and things like that. You may or may not get it, but ideally, it's speaking about you are the product owner. I mean, if you belong to the product owner team, where you own the product and you're an engineer from that particular team, generally you will be having access, okay, to perform some additional activities. So that means the same PS command as an example, I can take it up. So PS command -ef. Now if I try to kill some other guy's process, okay, for an example, even still I want to kill it. My requirement is I need to kill it, okay. But if I try to kill that particular process, so kill of this particular process which belongs to a root user, okay, so I'm trying to kill this particular process, and I'll get a permission denied, right? So operation not permitted. I can't do that. Okay, I can't do that. So this is the basic scenario. Now you log into a normal user as a system. Okay, in Windows also you have this concept, by the way. So some of the things you can't do it as a normal user. So they provide an option, something called as you right click. There's an option they will provide which is called as run as an administrator. You see this? So certain things you can't do it as a normal user. Only if you are having administrative privileges, then only you will be able to do that. And that is where Okay, that is where the pseudo privileges here in Linux also it is coming the same manner. Okay, so that's where we're going to talk about this pseudo command. So now with the help of you need a privilege, little bit more privileges. Now how do you get that more privileges in Linux is, so you need to take a program help, there is a software help to do that, and the native software which you have is generally you'll be finding it out is sudo. Okay. That doesn't mean that you have to find sudo in the big organizations. You may find out Power Broker, you may find Centrify. So these two are paid tools, whereas sudo is native. Okay. Now there are two versions of it. Okay. For an example, generally in the organization, so we'll be having, when we always decide on two things, by the way. One thing, as a company, let's say I'm a business company. Let's say I have a bank. Now I want to launch a mobile application. I have a development team for developing it. That's fine. But I want to host it somewhere, right? So the servers and all. Now, when this comes into picture, so the bank is not expert in making the IT, by the way. So they're expert in, finding out the customers and, so getting the bank deposits and all. They're good at that, right? So they're not good at IT. Now, there are two scenarios generally we'll have. So one thing, you recruit the smart people and you run the IT on yourself. That is one thing. No, if that is not the thing, there's a philosophy, right? So generally the organizations goes with this mindset only. No. I think, why to go to the engineer and take all this particular headache and all? I'll go to a vendor, by the way. Now, how Amazon is coming into picture, right? How AWS is coming into picture. Now, because companies are thinking that, running all this infra headache and all is there, I'll take a service from Amazon and I'll happily be there, right? And that's where, now these people also, think again in such a way that, okay, fine. Okay. So now if I'm a good engineers I have, okay, maybe I'll put it my cost on engineers, by the way, engineering cost, we call it up, engineers. Or else I'll buy a product and be happy. Either of the way, right? Now let's say Zoom, this Zoom I'm using, I went to the Zoom and paid and I'm happy, by the way. I'm just running my show. That doesn't mean that it is a Zoom only option, by the way. There is a hell lot of open source tools where I can take my own servers and I host it and I can run this session on my own video streaming platform as well. I can do that, but I'm not doing that. Okay, because that requires a lot of effort from my side. And I'm taking this. There's always a choice will come, whether you manage or you buy a tool to that. Now, in that particular case, and depends upon the mindset, by the way, if the engineers are really good enough, they can manage with the sudo. Sudo will do the job. Okay, sudo will do the job. Or else, now let's say sudo and all is, okay, I don't have that much engineers and maybe my things are a bit of, so I need a little bit more happy path, then probably these paid tools also will come into bit. End of the day, these commands or these tools will help you. Sudo is also a tool, by the way. Okay, so these tools will help us in giving a permission to the normal user to become an administrator and he performs some work by them. Okay, and that is where sudo will come into picture. And here is the sudo. We are going to learn sudo because sudo is native, by the way. So that means comes by default. And now I'm not able to kill this particular process. And again, someone should be providing you the privilege. Where do you get the privilege from? Again, going back to here. Now here, you'll be having a privilege also. You should be belong to certain groups also. Okay, you will belong to certain groups also. As a part of your onboarding, you'll be going into the groups as well. Now you're a part of that group. That groups is already provided with some access on the systems. That also is a part of your configurations, system configurations. I'll send you a video, by the way, so how it will be done and all. There's one video I have seen recently. Even if you want to replicate also, you can replicate, by the way, in your lab. Okay, so how a centralized user authentication system works, by the way, maybe I'll post it in the GitHub page or wherever it is. I'll give you that video maybe on a lazy day. When you have some time, you go through that and watch it. Okay, you'll understand how the things will happen. Okay, so yeah, coming back to the point, that means you're a part of something, you will gain the access. You will gain the access. So that's how you're going to, going to execute this one with sudo. So that means I already should have a privilege. If I already have the privilege in my system, I will be able to do that. Otherwise, I will not be able to do that. So that means I mean, this EC2 user is considered as an administrator and he had access on the system. How to access and how to give access and all, I'm not bothered for now. Okay. Because it comes again from the centralized place. I had to open AD and I'll show you all the things. Okay. So, but let's keep it outside. Someone will provide, generally in the organization, someone will add you to a group and the groups will have access. And I assume that I'm having access. I belong to a group where I have access. I already hold the access and sudo. Maybe the sudo configuration is very happy to show you on the single one system, by the way. But imagine you have 100 machines, 200 machines, okay, 1,000 machines, 10,000 machines. You go to each and every 1,000 machines, 10,000 machines, and you think about adding the sudo configuration. No, right? You can't do that. It has to be central. Okay. So that is the ideal scenario, by the way. So that's where, local sudo is not a big deal. Okay. That's right. It comes from centralized place. And I have access. Now you can just go ahead and, find out that particular process. You might not able to find 2147. 2147 is gone. 2147 is gone. 21. It's not there. It's gone. So you can kill the process as well. Okay. But you're doing with the help of sudo. Sudo will bring you an extra privilege that will understand whether you have a privilege on that particular system. If you have a privilege, it will allow you. If you don't have a privilege, it will not allow you. It's as simple as that. Okay. So that's how sudo, let's say, error or something like that. Okay. When you are actually don't have a sudo privilege, this is how you get it. Hey, this guy is not having the, one, and the incident will be reported. All right. So this is how we're going to get an issue if I don't have an access. Right. So if you're really interested on doing it in locally on the system, so maybe this web page will help you. I given it, but otherwise that's not the scope, by the way. I'll provide some other information where you do it centrally, by the way. Right. Yeah. Any questions? Now, why do you require generally the sudo privileges? You log into where we are actually coming is you need to understand from where are we coming in. Why in the very first place, why we entered into the Linux box? Because we need to manage the software on this particular system, isn't it? So that means we started with these rules. Okay, so ensure the software is released smoothly, we talked about, and ensure your app is running without any issues. So for both the things, you need to do something on the machines. And those machines, okay, in order to run your application service and things like that, you need some privileges. And that is where, okay, we're talking about this topic. Okay, so you need some extra privileges, not a normal user, to do all these things. So that's how it is. Okay. And yeah, that is how it is. That's fine. Any questions on this?
So Raghu, like every user will not have the access to run the sudo command, right?
You will be having, right? That's what I mentioned.
By default?
I mean, that depends upon the process of the organization. So whether you should have access, you don't have the access. So that's where it's a company process that your team should have access or not. That's it. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a
But
decision.
currently when I'm trying, I'm able to run. That means we have the access to run the sudo command.
Yeah.
We are
and
in
don't do the things in parallel. We already discussed about this. Don't do the things in parallel while the session is going on. You miss the details.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Sure.
The session
Yeah.
is practice. Yeah.
Mm.
And if you have any questions also after practice, so there is a lab query session. You can always feel free to jump in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Any other questions? Okay. All right. So the next is package management, which is a very, very important one. Maybe today the time is not enough for this. Supposed to complete by today only. Some discussion on Amazon went long, and my system also to show you demonstrate also take a long time. That's fine. It's okay. We can start this in tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll cover this package management, service management. So these two things, and user management. These three things, and the last one will push to after some other topic again. The permission management and network management and the disk management. So we'll try to do it in the. I mean, these are not needed for our project, by the way. So that's where we'll just park it, and we'll cover after the project maybe. Basically, so that's where tomorrow we'll try to cover three topics: package management, service management, and user management. So which is major for our requirement. These three are regular. Okay, every day we end up with these three things only, at least in the training, maybe in the organizations also generally. Okay, we always end up doing the things around these three things only. Okay, all our application setup majorly goes with this. Some of the commands which we learned as a basics part. Okay, so these are the three major things. Yeah, how do you do that and all? So maybe we can start tomorrow. Any questions? And also our approach, by the way, generally is what I usually follow as a presentation purpose. So we'll start with the intro, every topic, not only this, we'll start with an intro and we do the project with the introduction. Okay, but it is highly not possible, right? By having an introduction, can you do the project? No. That's where you face a lot of challenges. Now you face a challenge, that means there should be a solution. Okay, then there is another challenge, you need a solution. So that's where these comes as a topics, by the way. So topics of that particular tool or whatever it is scenario. Okay, and that doesn't mean that the project covers everything. Okay, so you'll be having some extra options as well. So that means after this particular cycle, we'll try to go through the journey of the project at one point of time. So the project does not really require all the options of that particular tool and those particular things. So we will try to cover separately. I mean, as end of closing that particular topic. And again, we'll move on our journey to the next one. Another topic, another tool intro and things like that. So the project is major. The same approach we'll do it. So let's try that also to the Linux. Earlier I used to take Linux, I always felt like, let's close this topic kind of a thing. But it's actually against my other approach philosophy. So that's where I'm trying to bring Linux also here. So maybe by tomorrow we'll complete the intro, have an understanding on Linux. We start doing the things. Then you'll see the reality. Like someone was asking, which process to kill? It's a question that comes from the requirement. So as long as you have more of the requirement, okay, so executions is always simple. So that's a simple approach. And yeah, so we'll go. Any questions? Please go ahead. And also I'm done with my work with this particular machine. This machine is no more needed. Please terminate the machines only. Don't keep it. After your practice, please terminate the machines. Even though you feel like, I can stop this machine, I can, so save the work and all. At this point of time, your work is nothing, by the way. Please terminate. And okay, whenever it is really needed, I'll mention. But until then, please terminate the machines. Yeah, that's it. Any questions, please feel free to go. All good. Any questions out of today's topic also, please go ahead. We have a few minutes. Anything you have, anything about the program, like training and all also, please feel free to.
After terminating the mission, can we get the same mission or is it possible?
Yeah, even if you launch the machine also, it is same username and password, correct.
Suppose if it is in stop state, we'll get the bill for that.
Yeah, there is some bill for that as well.
Okay.
Hello. Hey, good morning. Am I audible?
Hey, sorry, I was on mute. You are
Oh,
audible.
okay,
Yeah.
thank you. So just I want to know what is the target to complete one module for each module? How many hours or how many sessions we are going to?
No, that is not the way I do that, right? So basically, we're going with a project-based approach. So what all the things that project requires, we have to do that.
Okay. Okay.
And the tool comes secondary, by the way. Okay. So please don't to stick to that numbers, by the way, because I mean, if I try to generalize that, maybe some topics, I mean, the real topics actually. So now tool learning, why do you need to join here? You open Udemy, you open these 10 tools, different videos, you find it out. I mean, they're great presenters than me. Definitely no doubt in that, right? So, but why are you joining here, a live session? And especially you're looking for a person, or you're using a word called as a project-based training, right? So when we actually try to do that, and in project actually the tools will be used, but since the tool is not there, I mean there's always a requirement comes in, and the requirement you'll solve with the tool one, right? So that is where there's a significant difference on the approach will come into picture. So we always go with the project, what all the project is needed, we'll try to complete, we'll try to take it up and complete it. And when you actually run the project, a lot of tool integrations will come into picture. That is the major thing you'll take away from this particular training. It's not about the tool, just the tool, by the way. But end of the day, so you have to cover many things and you wanted to just provide as a solution, right? To solve that particular problem. So that is the major thing that you will see as a difference in this year. Yeah. So that's where, so don't just try to go in that approach of
Got it.
unifying, just giving,
Thanks.
quantifying this topic this many days. If what my project is asking for that topic for more days. For an example, you take topic like Ansible, for an example, in our project itself, Ansible teaching you may happen in 2-3 days. Easily we can able to complete it topic wise. But when you go to the project, so till to the last day itself, also you do the modifications, you do the enhancements continuously. Okay. So that's where you can't rip that particular time and tell that Ansible this much time we'll do that. So
Yeah,
that's a
got
challenge.
it.
Yeah.
Thank you. And this is the good way, the way you explain. That's good.
Yeah. So it again depends. It's an opinion. So opinion changes from person to person. And if you are thinking in that mindset, yes, that is fine. We'll go in that approach. No worries.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. One more hand. I'm not able to hear you, Rajendra.
Yeah, hi Raghu.
Yeah.
This is Rajendra. Yeah, Raghu. Try to create an instance in AWS. I have created successfully, but even I'm trying to connect through Putty, but it's not. I mean, I just copied public key and enter into the Putty, but it's not taking. It's asking like we
Please
need to
do that.
match any key pair.
Yeah. Follow the process which I have mentioned exactly, and it will work for sure. If not working, so there is a lab session that will happen today, right? So join there and share your screen. We'll see what is the mistake you're doing, but it is very simple thing. So just follow step by step very carefully, and you will be able to do that.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Yeah, hi Raghu.
Yeah.
After terminate, if I want to practice again,
Create one more instance.
after, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank
Right?
you. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, everyone. See you in tomorrow then. Bye. Good day. Good night.